People celebrating a festival of diversity in Solingen, Germany, ended up facing an onslaught of terror, when a man later confirmed to be a Syrian refugee went on a stabbing spree targeting random people, slashing at their throats and leaving 3 dead. Rather bizarrely, as the attack was still going on, controlled spontaneity sprung into action, as a DJ performing at the event was told by security personnel to keep playing loud music so as not to cause mass panic. Equally strange was the initial reluctance on behalf of authorities to describe the attacker, despite him escaping and being the subject of a manhunt, and despite Bild swiftly reporting that according to an eyewitness the suspect was of Arab appearance, later changing this to Southern appearance, which in German media is a euphemism for non-German. But even the day after the incident, segments of the German media were still suggesting that the attacker may have been a native.
War das ein Anschlag, den man verübt hat, weil man beispielsweise vielleicht gegen Ausländer ist? Also da gibt es diverse Möglichkeiten, die dahinter stehen.
After handing himself in, he was subsequently named as Issa al-H, a Syrian who entered Germany as a refugee in December 2022. The asylum seeker had his claim rejected and should have been deported last year, but instead he went missing and slipped under the radar. Yet another reminder of the disastrous consequences of open borders. Yet another brazen example of what happens when you open the floodgates to vast quantities of young men, many of whom throw away their passports upon arrival, meaning authorities don't even know who they are. ISIS claimed responsibility, and according to prosecutors, the culprit, based on his radical Islamic convictions, decided to kill the largest possible number of those he considers unbelievers. But all of this didn't prevent the usual suspects from pontificating on the real problem: how right-wing people would react to it.
When you look at something like this, you just really worry about how it could be used by those on the far right to stir up hatred. To look at this and say, well, here's the justification. This is why this will be jumped on by those on the far right to say, well, there's some justification to our cause, and that's concerning.
It might justify deporting illegal immigrants before they stab people to death. What, you mean literally the thing that would prevent incidents from this happening in the first place? Oh no, the horror. This will unfortunately embolden the far right. They're doing the Norm Macdonald meme again. Interior Minister Nancy Faeser suggested that one of the worst outcomes was that people might become divided. And there I was thinking the worst thing was people being stabbed to death by someone who shouldn't even have been in the country if politicians had listened to right-wingers, instead of literally trying to ban them from politics altogether. But unlike in the UK, it seems as though Germany might finally refuse to just sing "Don't Look Back" in anger, and actually do something to lessen the chances of this happening again, with Germany's opposition leader demanding a ban on accepting refugees from Afghanistan and Syria, and the immediate deportation of criminals, any refugee who returns home for a holiday, or those coming from safe countries. Well, I'll believe it when I see. Meanwhile, at another celebration of diversity, the Notting Hill Carnival in London.
And is this year particularly important because of what we saw earlier this summer in terms of the rioting across Britain?
Yeah, I think it is. I think people need to understand that the carnival is not going to cause any trouble.
Well, in a matter of hours, that aged quite badly.
Police are prepared for more trouble at the Notting Hill Carnival today after yesterday's Family Day saw 90 people arrested and 3 people stabbed. One of those, a 32-year-old woman, is in a life-threatening condition. 90 arrests and 3 stabbings in the first day. And how did the media describe it? Really peaceful.
Last hour, they've given us an update that they've made 38 arrests and recovered 4 knives. And they said a man believed to be in his 20s has been stabbed. His injuries are not life-threatening. But overall, it's been a really peaceful and enjoyable day.
Really peaceful.
Really peaceful.
An event so peaceful, it's ringed by knife-scanning archers. An event so peaceful, this is how residents and local businesses prepared for it. Carnival is the very fabric of our city. Really peaceful.
Really peaceful.
So 90 arrests, 3 stabbings, 10 assaults on emergency workers, 15 assaults on police officers, multiple offensive weapons, sexual offences, thefts and robberies.
Really peaceful.
And all this happening on what was billed as Family and Children Day. If all of that had happened at a right-wing rally, would the media describe it as really peaceful?
Really peaceful.
Yeah, big doubt. Replace the words Notting Hill Carnival with St. George's Day Parade and tell me if words like fantastic event regrettably would have been used. Will the 90+ people arrested, likely hundreds by the end of the event because this happens at Notting Hill Carnival every single year, have their faces plastered across social media, be publicly humiliated, doxxed, subjected to dawn raids, and fast-tracked through the court system? I really don't think so. Unless, of course, they make the mistake of posting spicy anti-mass migration memes on Facebook, but God forbid anyone claim there's two-tier policing. Retired Scotland Yard Detective Chief Inspector Mike Neville said if the behaviour of the Notting Hill Carnival was replicated at football matches or any other event, it would be banned, calling it the ultimate in two-tier policing. But it won't be banned because it's a celebration of diversity, and no matter how many stabbings, sexual assaults or other criminal offences take place, reinforcing the sanctity of diversity takes precedence over literally everything else.